Welcome back, everybody, to the Splat World Series Rewound. My name is Kbot, joined by Popgun, and we are taking a look now at losers quarterfinals between Samurai Cat and Final Weapon. These two teams, obviously, right, hailing from Japan. We're only Japanese teams left at this point in the bracket. Now it's deciding who's the best of the best here, Popgun, where Final Weapon actually was actually higher seeded coming into this event here, but Samurai Cat's been taking some names so far in this event with their unique E-Leader competition.
Yeah, 13 seed versus a 15 seed. A true Cinderella story if you don't pay attention to anything else in the context of this tournament. By the way, Samurai Cat is looking pretty strong even though they're in the losers bracket. They just took a game off the #1 seeded team in the universe. And now, obviously didn't win the other three, but Final Weapon has been spending some time in the losers bracket. 2-0 FT win. A not easy 2-0 FT win, mind you. And they just beat Utopia 2-1 as well. So they got a little bit of that losers bracket run in them up to this point versus Samurai Cat, who's just coming off their first loss. E-Leader versus Brush, Robo ROM-en game 1.
And on Robo ROM-en, tends to be a little more of a front-to-back composition. I feel like it's going to be very difficult for Minamiya to get in on this brush, and also being paired with the Wiper, a composition that just wants to cause chaos, is going to be very difficult to do when an E-Leader is staring you down and trying to just play the very traditional, front-to-back fight here. And pretty much exactly what we expected, although we do see the Stamper come out instead, opting for the Zipcaster, but already Brush goes down.
It's like you can't poke a frame above any kind of wall or else this E-Leader's just instantly going to eliminate you. 2 more players going down. The attack from the E-Leader starting it off. Everybody else running up to clean it up. Samurai Cat scratching and biting to start off. Oh my! Calm down.
Having some fun with this one on the lockout situation. Samurai hasn't even moved forward much at all here. It's letting the teammates do the rest of the work in this lockout situation, but now they're starting to come in. You saw that Zipcast fly in, and starting to see some presence here from Final Weapon, but even still, Munya is on a tear on this Slosher, has come up with a handful of plays, and we see another trade between the S-Blast here, just holding down this right side and preventing anyone from approaching, letting the pressure of the E-Leader keep Final Weapon back here.
We saw that Zipcaster being deployed by the Stamper, and I would imagine they're going to be trying to take their shots at the E-Leader to try to displace them. No Splat on the E-Leader, but they are able to get enough Splats to stay alive in this game. Samurai Cat, though, coming out really strong in the opening. It starts with the Splat on the Brush on the right side and just follow it up from there. The question is going to be, what are you going to do to get rid of this E-Leader? The Zipcaster seems to be the best attempt, but they haven't landed it so far. They don't really have anything else to work with. Maybe get the Blaster in range as well, but again, they know the Brush is right there, and they're lucky to still be alive up to this point.
Samurai's got their eyes right tuned on this Brush, making sure it doesn't go anywhere. And like I said, Minamiya going to have a difficulty attempting to approach in this one. But now we see the pressure continue to build. Samurai Cat moves forward, and keeping Final Weapon in this choke point, aside from the Brush, basically means whenever the Brush pops out, it basically can't do a lot. Here's the Ultra Stamp coming from behind. Can't quite find it. And now it's Hitokuchi that comes back to take care of the Brush. Now, just a couple ticks left here before Samurai Cat is able to take game 1, and the triple strikes come out here, trying to get Hitokuchi forward. Azu trying to come back in, but no, it's a double there, it looked like, from Hitokuchi. The wipeout comes through, and it's Samurai Cat that's going to take game 1.
The problem with hyper-focusing on that E-Leader, which you saw the Brush trying to do literally all game wrong. Let me go to the left. Let me try to sneak around, make them forget about me, pop back up there with the hammer. Okay, the problem is that Blaster and Slosher are just working so well together. This chip damaging, throwing the bombs in combination with everything, just putting so much pressure on everybody else that the players that are flanking around can't come back to help with that either. So the positioning, the defensive position of Samurai Cat forced Final Weapon to be a bit spread out too much, and that just made things so easy for this Blaster and Slosher to eat them alive.
I think the other thing, too, is the just raw paint output that comes from these players. You don't think of this as a painting composition, really, but Sudamaru is able to put out a lot on that end zap, but also Munya's plan is actually to keep the ink down just as much as a support player, and you saw that a decent bit in the game. So even though it's an E-Leader instead of a Snipe Rider, the weapon that you might think can kind of paint more than the E-Leader, Munya is able to make up for it in spades, allow Hitokuchi to just go around and swim wherever, and then follow up with the chaos that's provided.
So this is the counter pick coming out from Final Weapon, and everybody has been picking Urchin Underpass against this E-Leader to force them off of it. And this time around, they're opting to go to Humpback, which is not really a bad E-Leader map. There's a couple of good spots you can dominate a lot of space with, but you do see them bring, well, you did see them bring the Dreadringer out, who instantly got sent right back to spawn to go along with that brush. So maybe they're thinking of finding ways to maximize the comp they want to use rather than hinder Samurai Cat.
And you know, I like the adaptation here as well, with the Ultra Stamp coming out here in addition to the Reef Slider. Can we get in there, create more chaos right on top of the zone, or attempt to just run down the E-Leader where possible? But that's going to be challenging on Humpback, because you don't have an easy avenue to challenge the opponent's snipe or perch. And here, Hitokuchi, what a direct there, continues cleaning up here for Samurai Cat. There looks like they're going to be the ones that actually have the first main hold.
You know what? I've been saying the Blaster's been working well with the Slosher. Well, the Slosher's been back at spawn. The Blaster says, fine, I'll just do this on my own until the other Blaster has something to say about it. By the way, Samurai Cat able to take the lead during all of that. Here comes a lot of specials being thrown onto the zone by Final Weapon. No Reslider, though, but it's going to be enough to cap the zone, not enough to hold on to it. And once again, the Slosher getting put down. So this Blaster's been kind of stuck on their own, making the plays, obviously getting the support from the E-Leader, but they haven't been getting that combo support, although the Slosher did jump right back in. Things going to be looking really good here for Samurai Cat.
But again, that's the playstyle of Bunya, right? Playing a little bit further back, and when it's time to go, they'll be able to help out the fight, but for the most part is going to stick back, make sure the ground is painted, and make sure that there aren't any avenues for this team to come in. Basically playing the Slosher as though it's the support weapon, but now two go down here. Miramiya on this right side. Here's the Ultra Stamp coming out, and it will be enough to cap the zone. It looks like the Reef Slider slid across as well, but couldn't get a lot done, and Samurai Cat just backs up slightly, has the triple ink strikes, and might be looking to re-engage.
Through the triple ink strikes, perfectly timed so they would all explode at the same time directly across the zone, and Final Weapon couldn't care less. We're just going to slosh right over it, and we're just going to not even barely get it stalled out here. Great lockout situation being developed right here. Pencil being eliminated. There comes some more ink strikes yet again. How'd they get ink strikes back so quickly? On top of the Booyah Bomb, that will flip it back. Samurai Cat holding on control of the zone, at least for now. But Final Weapon starting to find ways to start push up around here. You see Azu trying to work around this right side. Gets a nice splat, eliminates the soda before that can get dispensed. Trying to throw some more pressure on that right side E-Leader.
Could be huge here for Final Weapon. A couple going down in the trench. That looked to be a trade. Now Azu looking to try to get something else done and might try to lunge forward over top of this zone, but here comes the triple ink strikes here from Samurai Cat, and they will cap the zone right back. Again, making sure that this game doesn't get too far out of hand, and Samurai Cat happy to do that, but there is a long way to go to stall out this game. The penalty has been applied, and it'll quickly start ticking down, but even then, the more this zone flips back and forth, the more that penalty is going to work up, and we're just going to see the same scoreline.
Are we still playing Turf War right now, or did this evolve into team deathmatch? And just a bar fight seemed to have broken out in the middle of the game, and now everybody said, oh yeah, we got to start painting the zone right now. Let's get it back into our favor. There's a player jumping right back out, but this E-Leader able to dominate so much space and has a little bit of ledge to work with as well. Here comes that Reslider, though, right where that E-Leader was standing, gets the Blaster instead. Gets another nice splat, and that takes care of everybody else. How do you deal with the Charger player? Easy. You just eliminate everybody else and force the charger to retreat on their own.
And with that charger down, it's going to mean that Final Weapon has a real strong position here at the moment, looking to try to capitalize on that, but the Booyah Bomb is actually going to be ignored as the rest of the Samurai Cat continues to storm forward, now looking towards the zone potentially here, but actually looking to clean up the team first. Munya trying to take care of this Reef Slider, but it's not going to be enough before they lose the lead. It's 3 down for Final Weapon, but it's just a little too late for Samurai Cat, and they've still left the door open for Final Weapon to steal this one right back from them.
They really don't have to do anything except get rid of their penalty points right here, and Samurai Cat's got the lead right back. They survived the hammer, but you know what? There's this thing called Reef Slider. Everybody seems to love it in low ink, and it works out really well right here. At least flipping the zone. That's all you got to do is just keep flipping it back and forth. And they're about to have another Reef Slider right away. So now they just hold on to that, wait for overtime, and GG as long as they can not get canceled before they fire it.
Here comes the strikes. Now, oh, Munya looking for the flank, but it's not enough. The Reef Slider comes out just in the nick of time before the Booyah Bomb comes out. A battle of centimeters there, Popgun, at the very end, but it does mean that Final Weapon is sending us to a Game 3.
And Samurai Cat knew it. I mean, they realized, okay, all they got to do is re-slide back in, and we're going to Game 3. But it's like, okay, I got this Booyah Bomb. Let me hold on to it for a little bit. And look at the position. They know they can fire it from back. They literally go sledding off of that ramp into the zone. And there's not really much you can do to get the splat over there. Like, you can throw some bombs, maybe throw some ink strikes. But you also got to focus those ink strikes on the zone. It's so difficult. And they do actually throw the ink strikes here on the Reef Slider just to try to do something. Oh, and there was a flank coming out as well. I didn't even see that initially. So they cut.
Munya had almost sniffed it out.
They escaped before the flank landed right there. If they land that flank, the game's over. I think. They were relying so much on that Reef Slider.
But I do think that's also part of the counter pick, right? Is that they probably had that at their disposal, thinking that they would be able to perform and having that vanilla Dreadbringer for that Reef Slider capability and just being able to take back control of the zone. That's why the zone stalled out for so long there as well. The other thing that also has me a little bit worried, on that map in particular, Samurai Casato went 13-1. One single death. You called it out the one time, Popgun, but that was the only time that the E-Leader was taken off of the stage. Now we see a stage come through where this E-Leader is going to have so much larger of a presence in Eeltail Alley.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Samurai Cat has like property that they own in this alley. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a litter box if you look over to the left where the cat just kind of chills out all day long. And yeah, here you go. What are you going to do against the E-Leader on a map like this? This pencil can't match the range. It doesn't matter that you got Ninja Squid Brush on or the Respawn Punisher on the pencil trying to just match fire with fire. How are you going to start attacking the E-Leader? They're going all in for it right now, but they're still so far away to getting up top where they need to be to start putting pressure.
That is an insane early aggressive push here from Final Weapon. That is exactly what it feels like they need to do. Don't let the E-Leader get set up and establish the pace of the game, because if that's the case, you're going to be in a bad situation. Takeyomi trying to come down with that Ultra Stamp. It's not quite enough. 2-down situation here for Final Weapon potentially means that Samurai Cat's going to have an opening, and here comes the Booyah Bomb thrown forward. The Wavebreaker comes out. It catches one off of the bridge, and now looking for a second, but Azu got to clap right back, takes care of that one, and now is in an awkward position here. Booyah Bomb thrown down, preventing this E-Leader from really getting set up, but even still gets taken out. Final Weapon 3 down here, and this is really going to be where the map opens up for Samurai Cat.
You know, while all that was going on, the zone was just kind of chilling. Like, Samurai Cat didn't seem too interested in just sneezing on the zone and getting it put into their favor. Finally, they go back and get it, and they do get enough to get the lead right here. But if they do ultimately lose zone, there was several points that kind of left on the table right there just because they didn't go back and deal with it. The E-Leader's forced to jump out right there. Really far pushed up is Final Weapon. And 2 players going down, but somehow 3 players from Final Weapon explode.
You know, that's the risk that you run when you're trying to push underneath this bridge on Eeltail, is that as you continue pushing forward, the enemy team has so many angles also down towards that bridge, that it makes it very difficult for you to be able to really run how you want to take care of things. But now, again, coming right back in on top of it is Final Weapon. They find a wipeout for themselves, and they're going right back for the bridge. But guess who's back in time? It's Samurai Cat to push their opponents off of this bridge as well. But it's going to be a hard-fought fight for the zone.
I was about to say, it almost feels like Final Weapon's best fighting position is not on the enemy side of the map, but they're doing a pretty decent job of keeping attention right there. Oh my gosh, did you just get tap shotted by an E-leader? That, you know, Charger players, especially E-leaders, you get the sense that they're such a damsel in distress when they get in an up-close fight like that. The E-leader literally just smacked them back to spawn. Is that a pencil or an E-leader? What's going on there? Oh, that actually was a pencil. I got mixed up.
Got your colors swapped again, but all good. Another Q-down situation.
Did you see that hammer? The hammer just took out the E-leader from halfway across the map. That's huge.
That's the kind of thing you need here if you're Final Weapon, continuing to find ways to create chaos on the map, and it's 3 down with the last one jumping away. This is going to give them complete control as they continue rushing forward. Asu pushed up so far, immediately gets taken down, and it's Final Weapon looking to control the area underneath this bridge in all green ink.
Yeah, just so aggressive right here. I don't know if you have to do that, but still, you're feeding right into what Samurai Cat has been wanting to do, breaking out of lockouts all day long here in this game. 5 points ticking away. The Booyah Bomb coming down on the zone. That should be enough. It's so hard to cap the zone here, but Samurai Cat's able to do just that and chase out the last remaining players. But that hammer is online. We saw it connect before. Can they find ways to make use of it yet again without the end zap on the field?
Here's the strikes coming out from Munya. It's 2 down, though, from Samurai Cat here. Both teams playing with their tournament lives on the line. A minute left on the game clock here, and Samurai Cat is going to be able to find the wipeout. You saw enough play there, and now pushed rather far forward. Of course, Samurai on the E-leader going to be taken down for the moment, but even still, okay, wait a minute. Takeyomi trying to come up with a zone, but no, you called it out earlier, Popgun. So much ink needs to go on top of this zone in order to flip it around, and it's just not enough from Final Weapon to vent the lead. But finds the hammer dunk, is going to find the jump as well, but Hitakuchi is going to respond. Now the Booyah Bomb comes out here as well, and Final Weapon might still have a chance.
What the heck are we even watching right? I don't feel like I'm worthy to be commentating this. I'm just going to be so straight up. This is insane gameplay by both teams, and it's coming down to this final push right here. They cap the zone somehow. The game's still going. Can they find a way? Oh, there's no way. There's no way they can outpaint this, right? It's just the Booyah Bomb. Somehow, Samurai Cat survives.
Samurai Cat.
Whoa.
On, I want to call out, I believe it was the triple ink strike from Munya that holds on to the zone there for just long enough, creates enough of an opening there maybe for another teammate to get 1 or 2, and that's what prevents that timer from going any further. It was getting real close. You'll see in the replay here as we watch back the final seconds of this game.
That was absolutely nuts right here. But yeah, here come the ink strikes. Ready to go, perfectly kind of balanced. I mean, taking care of the pencil on top of that really kind of seals things. Obviously, you can't really paint over it once you're splatted. And then you're just kind of forced, okay, the wiper and the blaster, that's not going to be enough paint to stall it back out into their favor. You have to go in and get splats, especially on top of the zone. So, man, it's so much craziness just happened right there. That's the 13 seed versus the 15 seed in a 16-team tournament. Who seeded this thing?
I don't know who seeded this thing. I think you had something to do with that one, sir. But nonetheless, these teams came to play, and I would have loved to have watched 7, 9, 11 games of these two teams playing. But alas, there's even more to watch as we take a look for the rest of the matches here in the Splat World Series Rewound Series. You can tune in to more on the IPL YouTube channel. But for now, this will be Kbot and Popgun signing off. Take care, everyone.
くねくちゃわり手のどりあれピスタル